guys, last video got about 100 comments from you guys, so I wanted to make another video where I missed some stuff. So this video I have 20 more things, and I'm not going to repeat myself, try not to. Most of them are unique stuff, and we're going to go through that, and then I'm on the game this time, so I will show you as I'm going through something. You don't have to watch it, you can still leave it on the background, but we're going to get right into it. So once you watch it, let me know your thoughts and like the video if you do agree. So first thing, we have the Hawk Pass. As you can see, I have not bought it, so purchase Hawk Pass $10 and $20. The $20 one, they have to improve it. You get just a little bit of summons. Why isn't there no limited summons? Why are the key bags small? It's 5 keys. Make it 20, make it 50. The current value for the $20 one is terrible. And then the $10 one was not that bad the first time around. But if I go over to tier 50, we have a couple more remnants of the rifts here, but these are so easy to craft. You can do it in 1 week. And then this again used to be more valuable, but now you have SSR weapons more easily craftable. You have stages that give you these. So these by itself is not enough for people to buy this. And you have keys in there, which I will admit is kind of useful. My recommendation would be putting more of these chests in here. Why is there only one? When you get to a certain tier, make it like 5, 10, because it's all RNG anyway. And then increase the number of summons in a Hawk Pass up to 10. So if you buy the base, you can get a 10 pull very easily. Another suggestion we had is including a skin. So for Escanor, we had the skin given away for free. This skin right here. So they can do it, or this one, I mean, this skin right here, they can give away skins for free. And it's not a bad skin, but you know, something a little bit more premium for $10 or even $20 if you want to add it there. That would make the Hawk Pass a lot more valuable. And then second point is going to be the towers. So let's go there. So as you can see with the tower, I haven't really bothered clearing it. I could probably do it. I just don't feel like I'd have to build many for it. And then sector 3 and 4, they're coming. But the main issue is if you look at the top right, it's 4 months every reset. So August 26th, I would say just make a reset within 2 months from now. Like they can still change it. This was 3 days and 3 days. They changed it to a week. So instead of August 26th, make it be June 26th. That way you still have a few weeks after sector 6 drops. Like we know it's doable, right? Within a couple of weeks. It's not about difficulty. It's rather just which element you have that you can use and upgrade, right? So this one is like if you had Gila, you would have a much easier time, or Meliodas. If you have Manny, you would have a much easier time. Even Escanor works, but he's not great. This, I don't know what the elements are going to be, but we'll see. And then again, same thing. It's just going to be element based. So this is not about difficulty. So why make 4 months long, right? So, and then instead of having 6 floors, they should have 10. Maybe once we get more bosses and stuff, but maybe some of the world bosses, they could be in here, right? Like Hendrix and Trico, maybe both together. Crazy or no? And then each of them would come out every week, so we have something to look forward to every week. And then again, if it's 10 stages, then it makes sense for it to be this long. But if it's just going to be 6 stages, make it reset sooner. The third thing is going to be more bosses. And I don't just mean the boss challenges, rather raid bosses, event bosses, and knighthood / guild bosses. Now, we know the guild stuff is coming. I don't know what they're going to do with that. They may want it to make it more social rather than combat focused. So we'll see about that. But the raid bosses, I think, should be something you cannot do solo at all. Maybe if you're P10, then you could do it on every unit. Then yeah, sure, why not? But for the majority of people, the raid bosses should be maybe 2, 3, 4 player co-op. And how it would work is that the stats of the boss would not go up. Because currently if you play co-op, then the stats of the enemy and the bosses will go up. But with the raid, you just need as much damage as you can get. And you're not going to penalize people for having multiple teammates. Then we have some combat issues. So I don't know how often you guys have issues with combat, but I've noticed a comment and even personal experiences that sometimes dodging, attack ranges, ultimates, they're not very smoothened out. Like the inherent combat in this game is very good, but overall, like if you're dodging, trying to attack, sometimes you're just not going to land. And then of course there's that weird timer for combined ultimates where you can't have done attack skill, which is fine, I guess, but sometimes it just doesn't go off properly. So I'd like to see some improvements with combat as well. Fifth thing is going to be monetization. So the only thing currently worth buying in the game is just this supply card, and maybe the Hawk Pass. These I bought, but like most people shouldn't buy. Get this one if you can. Saves you time and resources. But like all the bundles here are terrible. Half the prices by these at least, maybe half, 1/3. Then more people would probably buy this. Like why is this $100? Why do we have $100 bundles in the game? I don't know. And then once you buy the 10 pull at $10, each 10 pull costs you $10, $15. So I think that's way too much of a price. Maybe they'll bring it down, maybe not. If they don't, this game's monetization doesn't have a future, but what do I know? I've already talked about the cost of prices. I'm not going to go too into detail. Make these $10 instead of $15 so we can get a skin for $40 at least start there or make it $7.99. So it'd come out to $30 for a skin. Also buff the rewards in these things because they're kind of trash. I'll maybe get it, but most people should not get it. I don't want to get it just for the keys right here. Well, not this one. This one has some large cube key bundles, so with 100 to 200, but I don't know. We'll see. Personally, I think they should just make this 24,000, but it's probably too late because otherwise they would have to refund people, right? So I don't think these prices are ever going to change, which is whatever. But yeah, I don't even want to buy anything from here because it's just so expensive. And so that's for the monetization part. Just bring the prices down because you're trying to compete with levels of Genshin Impact with your prices, but this game is not at the level of Genshin Impact. So what's the point? Like, you want people to spend money, but everything is so expensive. And then after that, I'm not going to harp too much on Platinum. I already talked about it, but people were talking about, this is the same thing I said as well. Why use Platinum and stuff that's already gated? Like, this is not going to be stuff that we can get easily. So just let it be the legendary spell bead. Require just the beads, not the Platinum as well. And instead of putting Platinum in everything, just make different gates if you want to do that. Like, you can't make weapons without the weapon crafting blueprint, and you can't make armors without these blueprints. So, or at least specific armor, right? Thankfully, these ones don't require Platinum, but these ones do. But you already need these things to make the armor, so what's the point of the Platinum? And then again, Platinum in here, just make it something else, make it gold. It's Platinum everywhere, because this is again gated. What's the point? So yeah, the answer is not more plat in everything, it's less plat in what you need to use. And like, people don't want more nodes because it's just going to make farming even more tedious. Next thing is the pet traveling. Obviously got a lot worse since the last update. We have these, like, what is this dash? It doesn't do anything. Like, am I trying to fight with pets? Like, that I need to dodge dash or dash to dodge. I said dodge dash, but do you really need a dodge to dash? I don't get what the point was. Like, they completely wrecked the pet update. It was so much better before. Now it takes you ages to get around, and the jumps feel unsatisfying. Like, it's not fun. And also for both the flying and land bounce, they should have a boost feature where you can hold it down. Let's say my R2 or whatever your attack button to get a, well, it's a skill here, but still, like, something else to boost your speed in the air for like a few seconds, right? That you fly faster. That would be a cool change. Also, like, these small pets, make them more useful, make them pick up stuff easier. I don't know. It's like, I almost never pull this pet out. Maybe I'm different, but I don't see the merit. So make them a little bit smarter, make them pick up stuff more easily. Also, I mean, maybe it's a little bit unrealistic, but we could have attacking while on a pet. That would be really fun, right? So let's say you're on the land pet and you can attack while you're on the pet. That would be a really fun change as well. So that would be a little bit difficult to have a attack animation for every single character, but maybe you can just make it one, right? So Alto does some sort of magic attack with her hands, so you don't even need to worry about the weapons. And then maybe Slater uses some sort of a big sword, not an axe or great sword or anything, but something that fits this character. And you know, you're on the horse, you can drive by, like, I'll drive by an enemy here and I can attack, and yeah, that would be fun. And then point number 8 is the developers have to understand, like, their player base. I'll tell them, as far as I can tell, most people are around in their 20s to 40s that play this game. So these people have lives outside of the game. They have jobs, kids, families, and nobody's trying to play a game where you have to get off your real life job, get on this game, and feel like you're coming to another job, get all the platinum, the flowers, the gear, the whatever, right? Actually have fun for like 10 minutes maybe with the combat. And then that's it. Do the same thing over and over again. Like, you're not going to be able to sustain players that way. And guess what? The 20 to 40-year-old player base is such a gold mine because people have money to spend without too much worrying. And so if they cater this towards them a little bit, then like, this game could be raking in a lot of money. Genshin Impact has a lot of kids that play that game, but at Origins I really doubt that's the case, but because again, Genshin is around. But there's also a lot of middle-aged people or younger adults that play Genshin Impact. They squeeze money out of them. So here, Netmarble has the perfect market. You have an adult market where they are willing to spend money just as long as the game is good, and people love the IP. So yeah, cater to the player base a little bit more, that understand people have lives and they don't want to get on the game just to feel like they're doing their second job. And then the 9th point is, I think that people shouldn't try to copy anyone. They should go in heavy on the co-op. Like, don't make it forced co-op. You can still clear everything, but you can see people like doing co-op. They have parties set up, they're joined up in parties, right? And overall, I like the system because it's very intuitive. Like, yeah, I will give credit where it's due. The co-op system is very fun. It's very smooth now. Obviously, it wasn't before, but if they keep hammering co-op and like like get it down to nitty gritty, details perfect, then this could be a heavy selling point because imagine you're at, let's just say I'm at maybe 80k power. Yeah, like let's say I'm at 80k power or 85, 90, and I have a friend who likes 7 Deadly Sins. I can get them on this game and we can play together and then I can carry them. So now you have another player that enjoys this game and is not hard stuck by difficulty. So that way they should leave the co-op as it is, let people carry others if they can. And like they said, with the new mode coming, it's going to be a duo mode. So let's see what they do with that. I think it'll be a lot of fun, but still keep it a solo game. So if you want to clear everything by yourself, you can. You don't have to force yourself to play co-op on anything, but if you want to, then you can co-op most things and complete the game. So yeah, be their unique game. Don't try to copy anybody. Do things differently and try to stand out. So even if it is an anime IP game, like 7 Deadly Sins, people that don't like the IP will still play it. So another thing with the banner, I think they should let the 120 carry over. If they're not going to buff the summoning economy or star fragment economy, just let the 120 carry over. Then you can get somebody from the 80. It's not guaranteed, but if you get lucky, you can get them, and then you can get the next units within 120. So the 80 should not reset the 120. Let the 120 carry over, and for that, it will probably solve the summoning problem for now. You still have a lack of summons, but if most people manage it properly, then they can probably get multiple units back to back. So, but to be honest, I doubt they would do that because that way, if you get lucky, you could get 3 units within 120 pulls. Like imagine, let's say Clotho, Merlin, and Elizabeth. Let's just say you end up going 80 pulls for Clotho, and then you have 40 left on the Merlin banner, but you do like 30 summons, you get lucky and you get Merlin. Then you just need 10 summons. So 80 plus 30 plus 10 is 120. You need just 10 summons on Elizabeth's banner to get her. So I doubt they would do that. But yeah, again, it would still be a matter of luck. If you want to lower the rates a little bit to balance that, I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea, but let me know your guys' thoughts on the summoning banner system. If you think it would be a good idea to give us the 120 carryover in exchange for the current rate of summoning currency. And then number 11, I saw a point somebody made that they should give us a few free weekly or maybe daily rewards / drops. So let's say you want to clear a stage, then the first reward or first few rewards of the day or week are going to be free. So maybe 100 keys, 150 keys, right? Whatever. It's not going to be just a separate thing. If you don't use it, it goes away. But it's essentially a key economy boost, but maybe make it for masteries. You can farm 5 mastery bosses a day or something like that. That way you can build up other characters. Like I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate being able to farm their mastery every day. Then if they have a character they want to build and get the potential levels from mastery, then they can do that, or we can do that without much issue. And then number 12 is going to be making elemental stages a little bit easier, because right now I believe it's 80% reduction to the elements that you're not using. I think especially in the timespace junction. So the bosses and dungeons, they have their neutral mode or element, and if you use that, you'll deal same amount of damage. But if you use the advantage, then you deal more damage. But there's not really a neutral, I don't think, in timespace junction. Everything that is not advantaged is disadvantaged, which is 80%. So yeah, make those elemental debuffs a little bit less strong so people can use other teams and units to build and defeat those stages. I also think in the future, or even with this update, they should refund people that use certain currency in the next patch. So for me, example, I crafted 3 Remnants of the Rifts last update. Should I have done that? Yes, not. But like, there's no reason they can't just give us 40 back out of the 80 that we used. People that used loyalty points for 3,000, if there was anybody, I mean, they should give them loyalty points back. And if you guys did get that back, that's great. Let me know. It was too expensive in the first place anyway. I said that. Like, who the hell is paying $300 for one reroll? It's not even guaranteed to be anything. Like, if it was an item that will give you, you can choose all of the stats and you get max stats and it maxes out your gear and it maxes out the level. All right, maybe you can consider that. But like 3,000 loyalty points for a Remnant of the Rift, whoever bought it, they should refund them as well. When you craft items that they nerf the next update or lower the amount, then no reason they can't give you back some of the stuff that you used. So, number 14 is a little bit similar to what I said before, more content, but the game is more about farming than it is about combat at this point. Like, I swear, most people that play this game farm more than they actually fight anything, which if I wanted to do that, I'd probably go play Minecraft at this point. But they should add like an actual tower mode, so maybe like 50 to 100 towers or floors, or maybe like a roguelike, which you can keep going over and over until either you can't handle the difficulty or the keys run out. So it would be based off keys, but let's say there's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then as you're going, you get certain abilities, buffs, and stuff to help you out. And it will just keep going until you beat all the stages and then maybe restart it. That would be a good change as well. But just introduce combat that we can do for rewards without using keys, because everything is just gated by keys, which is fine. This is how it always is, really, in most Gacha games. But one thing those games had is time on their hand or time on their side. But this game doesn't have that. Like, they're running out of time. People are quitting left and right. I think now we're sitting at 8,000 concurrent players on Steam because there's just better games out there. And if you don't improve your game, then guess what? People are going to go play those better games. Even I started to cover different games. So I'll make a playlist of different games I am covering or will be covering, and I'll link it at the end of this video. So check it out if you want. And if you haven't seen the first part of the video, I'll link that as well. But let's keep going. Another point I didn't really understand is why isn't there all the base characters in this shop? Like, you have 180 and we have Drake, and you have one at a time, but like, just put everybody in there. If you have the character, you can get their potential point. So Deanne, King, Elaine, whatever. I don't even have King or Drake, but like, once I do, I would be able to get their potential points from here. So I don't see a point why they can't just have everybody in there. A lot of games do this. Almost like every major game does this, where now all of their base units are in the shop. Once you unlock them, you can buy their dupes. Also, maybe it's not going to make much of a difference, but lower this from 180 to 150, dude. Like, it's already getting hard enough to get to 180. So now this one, I think they said that it is coming at some point, but we need to be able to make teams much easier. Like, if I have escanor on the holy setup here and I go over here to the axe, they're not using the different gear pieces that they have. So the engraved sets, this one is going to be using the same engraved set as this one and the gear. But with the new system that hopefully is coming soon, is you can apply different gear sets and engraved sets and weapons, whatever, to one team. And then if you go for another team, you can get different setup there. So I hope that comes quickly, because it's such a chore to use different teams in this game with the same unit. Like, you have to go in there, switch your weapons, switch your character's weapons, and it's just a hassle. So we only have like 3 or 4 more points left. If you are enjoying the video so far, or you agree with me, please consider subscribing. We're at 900 almost, so I'd really appreciate that. But alright, number 17 is going to be for the console players, well, mainly PlayStation. We should have a cursor system in the game. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but sometimes there would be a cursor at the bottom, top left of the screen, but now that doesn't appear anymore. But I think they should just give us a cursor. So like, the right joystick should just be a cursor, and then you can go to wherever you want on the screen and click it. Something small, but that would change a lot of things. There's certain things you can't see. I don't have examples of it right now because I'm going blank, but again, that would help out a lot. And then I saw this conversation a lot where they were talking about OCs. So don't get me wrong, dude. Honestly, I love Clotho's design. I also like Daisy's design. Very cute. But I think what they should do is 2 characters of the sins, or not the sins, 2 characters of the show or anime or the Seven Sins world, and then 1 character that's OC. So Clotho, again, I love her design. Very good. Skin, perfect skin. But I hope we don't get back-to-back. Also, our legs are really long. What the heck? But I hope we don't get any more back-to-back OCs in the future this quickly, because people are here for the Seven Sins world, right? Even if it's like Vivian or some of the freaking the 4 fangs or whatever, weird fangs, like they could be SR units, and people would be more hyped about them than they are with OCs. Again, I really like the designs. I think OCs are good for the overall health of the game, but try to not make them back-to-back, dude. Like, you have so many commandments. You have different versions of units. If you just kept releasing units from the Seven Sins world and rerun them across banners, so let's say Meliodas. No, let's not do Meliodas because he's there for everybody, but Escanor, right? Let's say after a few more banners, version 1.5, 1.6, Escanor is going to run alongside that banner. So if it's Derriere, Gother, whoever it is, then the banner would be running with them. And so people that already have that unit, right, if you want Escanor and you don't have him, you can get him. But if you have him, then you can get whoever else is on the banner. That way you're not introducing 2 new units at the same time. I think that will kill the game so fast. Like, if they try to introduce 2 units at the same time with this current system, current economy, the game, I'm not even joking, will die basically instantly. So yeah, if they want to rerun old units in the future alongside the current ones, and maybe buff the rates on that, or increase the star fragment economy to support that, I think that would be a very good change. Like, think about it. You have the 10 commandments, you have a lot of holy knights, you have random characters from movies. I mean, they're not going to sell that well, but they're still from the Seven Sins world. We have collaborations, so you have a lot of stuff that you can do instead of adding more and more OCs that are very, I'm not going to say broken. Cloth is kind of trash, but I think if they're going to do OCs, make them mechanically very fun and complex. So that way there are people that enjoy the game and enjoy the units, or more likely people are going to be enjoying the unit rather than just like getting them for the buffs and stuff. Like Daisy is basically just the buffer. Most people don't use her as a Earth DPS. I mean, there's no Earth content really that you need her for, but and also, I mean, now that they showed us that auto tracking is possible, why can't we just auto track multiple items at the same time? Like if I want to track the platinum, I mean, these are in this, not even in the same region, but if I want to track this and platinum at the same time, or if I want to track different ores at the same time, right? Opal, quartz, whatever, ruby, sapphire, if I want to do that, I think they should have that system. That would make things at least a lot more manageable. If you want to sit down, farm everything, then you just select all the items that you want to farm and you go from one place to another. So as you can see, I have a lot of marks on the map. So if I select ruby and platinum and whatever, it'll show me like go from here, here, all that places. So yeah, the 20 things I missed last video that you have shared, and I wanted to share your opinion in my video. And if you made it all the way to the end, I'm trying to get to 1,000 actually, so I can try to partner with this game to bring you guys better content. So if you can help me reach that, I would really appreciate it. And if you made it, and again, if you haven't seen the other video that I made, the last one, I'll link it up on the left. And if you're curious about new games that I will be covering or have started covering, I will leave that playlist on the right. And if you made it all the way to the end and this is the end, just write I agree or I disagree. And then if you disagree, why? Thank you guys.